Calgary Elbow.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Today, the Alberta Party Caucus tabled our fourth shadow budget. Now, we believe the role of opposition is not just to oppose the government, but to propose ideas and tell Albertans what we would do differently. One of those ideas is to ensure we prepare our province for an uncertain future. The Alberta Party would increase investments in education. We would support social innovation in the not-for-profit sector and beyond. We'd commit $100 million annually to an innovation strategy. We'd also make investments in justice, culture, and social services. To the Premier, can we expect to see significant investments in these areas? And at the same time, will you find meaningful savings in health?
Thank you, Honourable Member. The Deputy Premier.
Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker, and to the member for the question and for presenting their proposed plan, which I have to point out had a $1 billion reduction to health care investment, had increased revenue in the line item that I believe said fees and taxes. Sounds like the recycled failed health care premium that Albertans rejected in the last election, Mr. Speaker. That sounds like the scary politics that were proposed right before 2015 that Albertans rejected. On this side of the House, we're protecting health, we're protecting education, and we aren't bringing in a regressive taxation that taxes people for wanting health care services, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This government assumes the only way to save money in health care is by cutting in the front lines, and that is absolutely not true. Another core value of the Alberta Party, Mr. Speaker, and of Albertans is fiscal responsibility, which is why I was surprised to hear the Minister of Finance yesterday say that his only hope of balancing the budget is for the price of oil to go up. Now, Mr. Speaker, hope is not a strategy. To the Premier, what is your energy price forecast, and why have you doubled down on keeping Alberta on the resource revenue roller coaster?
The Honourable Premier.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. The reality is that we will be introducing the budget tomorrow, and I look forward to hearing the members' comments with respect to the budget tomorrow, Mr. Speaker. But, you know, you can't have it both ways. The fact of the matter is you either protect your health care and your education services, or you go back to the old way of making regular working people pay for the failure to diversify that happened over years and years and years of Conservative governance, Mr. Speaker. We are not going to do that. We will have Albertans' backs, and at the same time, we will protect their services, and we will bring the budget to balance, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Second supplemental.
Well, Mr. Speaker, that balance, I suspect, relies on unrealistic resource revenue forecasts. We'll have to see. Unlike my colleagues to the right, I will never cheer against Alberta, which is why the Alberta Party wants to see the Kinder Morgan pipeline built. But pegging Alberta's entire budget to a project that is at risk of failure or, at the very least, delay is incredibly risky. The Alberta Party's shadow budget uses far more conservative revenue forecasts than the NDP, but it still balances in 4 years. To the Premier, do you have a contingency plan if the Kinder Morgan pipeline is delayed or, heaven forbid, cancelled?
The Honourable Premier.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Again, the member opposite will see the budget numbers tomorrow when the Minister of Finance introduces that budget. But as under our leadership, we have long since taken the position of introducing risk adjustments into every budget to allow for the inevitable ups and downs of commodity prices and the other kinds of things that can impact what we receive from our revenue. And in every case, that has allowed us to meet our targets, or in many cases exceed our targets, since coming into government, and we will continue that record, Mr. Speaker.